going to show everybody how I make my modelling chocolate that's specifically for sculpting. I'm just going to show you the way I do it. I know there's lots of methods out there and lots of different types of chocolate that people use. But I'll start with what I use, just the Nestle white melts. It's not the best quality chocolate that you can get, but I find for the purpose of modelling chocolate, it actually holds up a lot better than some of your more expensive couture type chocolates. And because I'm not really using a lot of it in my cakes, I don't really worry so much about using not as good brand. In my cakes I do use couture chocolate and premium ingredients, but this is one thing I will settle on with that. The next ingredient that I use is the Karo corn syrup. I have tried to use glucose syrup a number of times with no luck. It's horrible. I don't know why this works better. So I buy this from, I can't remember the company, I buy it in bulk. I normally buy about 24 bottles at a time because I do use a lot of modelling chocolate. It works out, I think, about $10 a bottle. I'll find out where I did get it from and I'll put the link up as well. Just a microwave safe bowl and Glad wrap at the end. So the first thing I do, I just use an entire packet. I've worked out my proportions now. So just put in the whole packet into there and I'll just pop that in the microwave on high now for a minute. So this is 1 minute now. So what I'll do, rather than just keep, because the microwave puts a lot of heat in the middle, I'll just give it a stir first and just let the heat sort of go through. If you overheat this, it will just split and you'll have to throw out the entire lot. So it's just sort of now just a little bit sticky. The bowl's quite hot. So I'll go and pop this in now for another minute and then check it again. So that's another minute there on high. The bowl's quite hot. So I'll just keep stirring now. I also found too that if I had any sort of older chocolate in my cupboard, if I hadn't done modelling chocolate for a while and I went back to get an older packet, it didn't work as well. So just sort of keep your stock nice and fresh. So that there now is quite lumpy still, but I'll just keep stirring until it's smooth. So as you can see, I just keep stirring it here. I really don't want to overheat the chocolate. Okay, so that's nice and smooth. You can just pour it off the spoon and see if you still have lumps. Lumps don't really matter so much. You just need to, it's just a pain to pick them out when you're trying to work, that's all. Okay, so now we're ready for the corn syrup. So I use there's a fairly good quality kitchen scale and I use it a lot. So we're looking at, so my portions are 1 packet of the Nestle melts, which is 375 grams in that one. And then I use 90 grams of the corn syrup. The Karo, I use 90 grams of that in there. So I'll just set my scale. I'll just pour 90 grams in here. I just find that sort of proportion works well for me. I live in quite a hot climate, so you really just have to adjust your measurements according to what climate you live in and what you're doing with it. But this is specifically for sculpting, which is the only cakes that I do. So we have that in there now. So now I just start to gently incorporate that corn syrup into there and it will seize the chocolate, and that's what we want it to do. We do not want to overmix or we end up with chocolate that's completely split. When I first used to make this, I used to overmix it and I ended up having to squeeze out all the oil in the chocolate, which was not fun. But I've since learned to just be a bit patient and to pop this in the Glad wrap and just let it set. and you'll end up with a better product in the end. So that's all sort of seized like this now, which is exactly how I want it. So now I'll just get my Glad wrap. Just lay it out like this, and without mixing it any further, I just want to pop it on there in a ball like that, and you'll see it sort of just starts to smooth out by itself anyway. So I'll just rub over, just sort of give it a little bit of a smooth like that. Just wrap up the corners. Try not to get your chocolate wrapped up in your Glad wrap, because it is a real pain in the bum when you're trying to unwrap it when it's set. And that's it. That's all done. So I can normally, if I'm in a rush, I'll pop that in the fridge. But because we're in sort of winter, not really. I live on the Gold Coast, so it's never winter. But we're in colder weather here, so I normally just prefer to leave that sitting on the bench top, and I'll leave it for maybe 3 hours or 4 hours before I use it. And that's it. That is how easy it is.